¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday morning. How's it going, Astro? Hey, Dakapolion, how's it going? Good morning. Unfortunately, my new work schedule only allows me to watch on Mondays. Boo. Well, hey, Skiddadeer, how's it going?
¿A dónde está papi?
Hi from a very cold, sunny, and windy London. Well, it's extremely cold here for South Florida anyways. It is a brisk 50 degrees. It is a brisk 50 degrees here. Everyone do Skiddadeer a quick favor. Go to twitch.tv/Skiddadeer. Give them a follow, show some support. No problem. Can everybody hear me okay? Does it sound okay? Does it sound decent? 7 degrees Celsius here in London. Jeez. No thank you. No thank you. Is it too loud? Can you guys hear me okay? Is everything good? You are slightly boomy. I don't know what that means. I made sure to hit the bright setting. Sounds good here. Alright. I don't know if you've got headphones on, but Let me check something. -7. Jeez. -7 degrees? No, thank you. (18 degrees Fahrenheit? No way. No way. No way, Jose. Mm-mm. You sound as if... Oh, well, that's me. That's a different story, my friend. That's a different story. It's probably because it's really cold for us here. I'm freezing. It was -2, now a heat wave. Hey, mister, how's it going? You've got a heat wave going on? Jeez. Let's see if I can adjust my mic technique, I guess, to not sound as nasally. Not sound as nasally. How do you go from -2 to a heat wave? That's just wild. That is just wild. What if I say that I want the natural setting? Okay, how about that? Does that sound okay? Because I changed the setting. Although I gotta be honest, this is probably a little bit too on the low end, but this should be okay. Maybe. How does that sound, everybody? Does that sound okay? It is unbelievably cold here for South Florida. I think the coldest it was at night was about high 40s, which is not very common here, to say the least. We've had 2 serious windstorms in North Britain in the last 2 days. Jeez. It's 9 a.m. and 8 degrees where I'm at, so my dog can't be outside for long at all. Jeez, Dendera. I've heard it's raining iguanas in South Florida. That's true. That is a very true statement. Trees are down in communication disruption. Yeah, I bet. Rather iguanas than alligators, I suppose. Yeah, well. I hear Northeast is in winter too. Yeah, the entire Northeast coast, or I should say, like, not just the coast, but like the whole northeast section of the US experienced a winter bomb cycle, and it's pretty bad from what I hear. I mean, I have no idea what winter is, but if you guys were here on Saturday, or Saturday Catterday, the co-host who lives up in Georgia was basically experiencing her winter wonderland up there. There's snow all over the place, and in the middle of the stream, apparently there was some type of head-on collision down her road, because her road leads to like a main highway somewhere there. So, of course, because of the ice, I assume, there was a big accident there. And from what I understand, there is a lot of people without power too. There's a lot of people without power. Over here, it's just cold. There's no like snow or anything like that, but it is cold. What? The Weather Channel just told me to expect 6+ inches of snow tomorrow on top of possibly an inch of ice. Jeez. That is a lot. That is a lot. Actually, let me check here. This blizzard is predicted to be one of the worst snowstorms to hit the region in 4 years. Jeez. People from New York City to Maine awakened to half a foot of snow, while parts of Massachusetts, including Boston, were expected to experience up to 24 inches. Expect whiteout conditions as nearly impossible travel at times. Wow. Thousands without power. Yeah, no, this is... Whew. Yikes. Stay safe out there, Dacapolion. Don't mess around with the snow and ice. Did you see the Trump nonsense on Saturday? No, but unfortunately I was made aware of it. So I do have the actual rally queued up. So I do apologize that I may have to subject you to some of this. I also want to take a quick second now that we're here to say thank you to Bleep Blop Ben for sending her wonderful community out here yesterday or Saturday for Saturday Catterday midstream. They decided to raid us, and it was something, I should say. Their community is extremely generous, and I just want to give and reiterate my appreciation. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It should be possible to persecute people for defamatory lies. You have to prove it, though. That's the problem. That's the problem. I love Bleep Blop Ben. She is a little hope beacon in the darkness. She definitely is. I appreciate her content. That's for sure. Dustin, how's it going? Morning. Final check before we get into the news. Can everybody hear me okay? Does it sound okay? Sounds fine. Okay, that's good to hear. That is good to hear. Also, stay tuned, folks. At the end, well, I shouldn't say towards the end. I should say towards the middle of the stream. Or, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how fast we get to it. We have a special little shout out. So stay tuned for that. Let's get some of these news stories started, right? The Nutties and Saturday were saying, the Nutties and the Saturday thing were saying they have launched 27 legal cases on the legitimacy of Joe's victory for the umpteenth, 100th time. Nothing they say or nothing they do is going to make a difference, to be quite frank. To everybody's shocking surprise, Amazon illegally threatened workers over union push, U.S. Labor Board claims. Remedies would include mandatory training of managers and requirements for managers to inform workers of their right to unionize. Amazon warehouse workers in New York are in the middle of a drive to create the company's first unionized workforce, an effort Amazon has no interest in it succeeding. Gee, I wonder why. If unions are they're just not important, then why do they spend so much time, effort, resources, money to make sure that you're not in a union? No, they never do that. Of course not. Though, shocking breaking news. Multi-billion-dollar company squashes unionization efforts. And though Amazon's no stranger to fighting union efforts, that's a nice way of putting it. A new complaint filed by the NLRB revealed on Thursday that claims the e-commerce juggernaut crossed the legal line. No way. Companies engaging in illegal activity to make sure they squash any type of labor efforts? No. I don't believe it. In the complaint first spotted by Bloomberg and Motherboard, U.S. Labor Board prosecutors accused Amazon of interrogating and surveilling workers at its New York fulfillment center in Staten Island. Yikes. An Amazon consultant allegedly referred to union organizers as thugs and promised employees Amazon would fix their problems if they opposed the union. Yeah, if there's a company that tells you that you don't need a union, chances are you do. Amazon allegedly confiscated union literature and told employees not to distribute pro-union literature without the company's permission. What? Jesus. That same consultant involved in the above scheme was also hired by Amazon to dissuade workers from organizing in Bessemer, Alabama as well. They should probably investigate that. We promise we'll fix the problem. Press X to doubt. True. The complaint also reportedly lays out remedies that would require mandatory training of Amazon's managers, consultants, and security guards, as well as union avoidance consultants, to inform workers about their rights to form a union. I mean, like, that should be kind of standard practice, right? That should be standard procedure when you enter the workforce or when you get hired. I think that should be mandatory, that you are advised of your worker rights and your ability to unionize or organize. That should be kind of like standard procedure, right? You would think. But Amazon and all these mega corporations don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know your rights to unionize, because that might be a bit of a problem, right? Don't want workers finding out that they actually have some type of power. So what happens now? They know all this illegal union busting is happening. Will Amazon get any type of penalty at all? Well, Amazon themselves are probably not going to get any type of penalty, but it has triggered things like in Bessemer, Alabama, to have a re-vote for unionization, so they get to try again. True, homonyms, unionize and bust CEOs, true. I think they were given some fines for the shenanigans in Bessemer, Alabama. And now they have to do another vote again. A redo of that unionization effort in Alabama. But, you know, at the end of the day, to them, to Amazon, it's just another cost of doing business, right? I've seen you have the right to discuss pay with coworkers, but I'm not clear if that's true in all states. I think you do have the right to discuss. You have the right to discuss your pay. There isn't like any rules against doing that. It's more of a company taboo company, like how do I say this? Not procedure, but like culture, right? Like they've tried to ingrain this idea that you shouldn't discuss your pay with other workers. It's taboo. Cultural norm. There you go. Cultural norm. Hey Eric, how's it going? It's like a cultural norm that they've kind of instilled in people, that you shouldn't really discuss your wages with anybody or anything like that. Generally speaking, it's mostly fine, unless, like Skiddedeer points out, unless you have like a specific NDA legal document that you have to sign, then there's no real reason why you can't. Also, that it's illegal, and you can sue if they fire you for discussing pay. Yes, I think that's the case. Or depending on your situation, I think that is the case. I think that the exception would be something like Skiddedeer points out, unless you sign some legal document that says that you can't, like an NDA, that you can't do that, then you should be able to. talk about wages. Definitely talk about wages. True. Yeah, it's like cinching it away. It's like, yeah, it's fine if I talk about it, but did you really have to tell your coworkers? Yeah, I did. Yeah, you do. And? Why? Is there like a imbalance going on here? Amazon, more like I'm a fraud.
Please clap.
I think this should be standard procedure, right? Whenever you get hired at a place to work, you should be told immediately about your right to organize or to join a union or discuss whatever. Like, your employee rights should be kind of like upfront, in my opinion. It shouldn't be an afterthought, or it shouldn't be like as hidden as possible, right? Because you would have to go and ask about what your rights are as an employee. That should be kind of upfront, in my opinion. If they have a policy against it, but you should talk about your... If they have a policy against it, but if not, you should talk to your coworkers about what everyone earns. You are underpaid, they will be angry. Or even if they are underpaid, you will be angry for them. Yeah, but like, I don't think it's legal to have a policy to punish people for talking about wages unless there's a legal binding document. An example would be like Skidadeer pointed out, an NDA. Unless you have any sort of like legal binded document that you signed, then it doesn't matter what the company policy is. You can take it up with the NLRB. That being said, be smart about how you organize or about how you talk to your coworkers. Because a lot of companies will fire you over attempts to organize, but they won't fire you over that necessarily. They'll make up some procedure BS. They'll try to track your break times to see if they can nail you on a break that you took too long, and oh, they violated procedure, gotta let them go. Just be smart about it, yeah? That's right. The plan is to use leverage for cost. The plan is to use the leverage of legal costs, but nothing is to stop you from posting it publicly and anonymously. Most jobs have bulletin boards for Octoboat. Yeah, like I said, if you are to do this, just make sure that you're smart and have a plan. Tesla's actually notorious for this, true. Gizmodo actually reached out to the Amazon Labor Union, the independent group organizing the workers at the New York warehouse, but did not immediately hear back. However, in a statement to Bloomberg, ALU leader Chris Smalls... Oh, that's the guy that was... I remember this story. He was unlawfully... I don't know if unlawfully, but unrightfully fired. I remember... Chris Small said that he hopes other union busters as well learn their lessons and that workers are encouraged to speak up. Amazon is refuting the accusations in the complaint. These allegations are false, and we look forward to showing that through this process. Yeah, okay. Excuse me if I don't believe you, Amazon. Excuse me if I don't believe you. Especially after what happened in Bessemer, Alabama. The complaint just comes after hours. The NLRB confirmed workers in Staten Island Fulfillment Center had garnered enough signatures to officially ask for a union election. Workers at the sites are expected to take part in a union election in the coming months. Well, congrats to them. The NLRB complaint also arrives just 1 week after the Labor Board prosecutors told Bloomberg they plan to formally accuse Amazon of illegally firing an activist worker back in November. Nice. Oh my god. Nice. We've got some of our coworkers decent pay raises by telling the owners they need to pay them more for the job they're doing, and we don't even have a union. Nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, like, the whole point of a union is to have an organized labor force, but if you've organized together, then that's fine too, right? But ADT, Elon Musk earned every single cent of his $312 billion. True, I forgot. Just like our friend said in Saturday Catterday, apparently, Elon Musk worked so hard that he earned every single cent of his billions. So this is good news on the labor front. This is good news. I hope they do organize. Yeah, and as far as I can tell, or as far as I'm aware, right, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Irkt, you don't technically have to be in a labor union to have, to organize for collective bargaining rights. You don't technically have to be in a union to be able to have a collective bargaining, right? It seems like they always lose those voters to unionize. Yeah, but in Bessemer, Alabama specifically, that was found to be Amazon's shenanigans. So they're going to do a redo. They're going to have a redo on that election, which hopefully turns out positive for them. Even to getting to that concept, homonym, is apparently just an unfathomable idea here. To even arrive at that thought process, it is just taken an unbelievable amount of effort for people to even arrive at this thought process, homonym. In my opinion, there shouldn't be any billionaires. They just shouldn't exist. California redwood forest returned to Native American tribes. This is another good news. You don't need a union, but it does strengthen your bargain power substantially. Of course. I'm just saying, like, legally wise, you don't have to be backed by a union. If you have the option of collectively bargaining, then yeah, you can. Yeah, good news. We had back-to-back good news. There's an attempt to have some type of labor protection, labor enforcement against Amazon. There's 2 Amazon warehouses that are going to attempt to unionize, which is the Bessemer, Alabama one is going to have another election, and so is the Staten Island one in the coming months. So, hey, that's good news. And in other good news, California redwood forests returned to Native American tribes. The descendants of Native American tribes on the northern California coast are reclaiming a bit of their heritage that includes the ancient redwoods that have stood since their ancestors walked the land. The Save the Redwood League planned to announce on Tuesday that it's transferring more than 500 acres to on the Lost Coast to the intertribal Oh man, I'm gonna butcher this name. The Intertribal Sinkyone Wilderness Council. The group of 10 tribes that have inhabited the area for thousands of years will be responsible for protecting the land dubbed the... Okay, I'm not going to pretend I can even attempt to read this. Or, colloquially known as the Fish Run Place, in the Sinkyone language. Priscilla Hunter, the chairwoman of the Sinkyone Council, said it's fitting that they will be the caretakers of the land where her people were removed and forced to flee before the forest was largely stripped for timber. It's a real blessing, said Hunter of the Coyote Band of Pomo Indians. It is like a healing for our ancestors. I know our ancestors are happy and this was given to us to protect. That's awesome. That is awesome. Live from the gutter, we made it. Thank you for the follow, appreciate that. 500 acres, that sounds so little. That sounds so little, but we gotta take the W's when they come to us. The transfer marks a step in the growing land back movement to return indigenous homelands to the descendants of those who lived there for millennia before European settlers arrived. The League first worked with the Sinkyon Council when it transferred 164 acres to the plot nearby to the group in 2012. Look how far we've come. Look how far we've come. The League recently paid $37 million for a scenic 5-mile stretch of the rugged and forbidding Lost Coast from a lumber company to protect it from logging and eventually open up to the public. Now that's so cool. That's important. That is so important. Opening access to the public is not a priority on the property being transferred to the tribal group because it is so remote, said Sam Hodder, the president and CEO of the League, but it serves an important puzzle piece to wedge between other protected areas. The steep hills rise and fall to a tributary of the Eel River that has steelhead trout and coho salmon. The property was last logged about 30 years ago and still has a large number of old-growth redwoods and as well as second-growth trees. Yeah, that's so beautiful. I used to live right off the Eel River. This might actually involve my cousins. Hey, that's cool. That's so awesome. The League purchased the land 2 years ago for $3.5 million, funded by the Pacific Gas and Electric Company to provide habitat for endangered northern spotted owls and the marbled murrelet to mitigate other environmental damage by the utility. PG&E was set to emerge Tuesday from 5 years of criminal probation from 2010 for a 2010 explosion triggered by its natural gas line that blew up a San Bruno neighborhood and killed 8 people. Wow. I never knew about this. It's just so, like, unbelievable to me that a company for killing 8 people was just put on probation. 5 years of criminal probation. Mind you, this is the same company that neglected its infrastructure, leading to several wildfires in California as well. In an effort to reduce liability and the chance of vegetation contacting power lines and sparking fires, PG&E has been criticized for destroying many large and old trees. Thanks to Save the Redwoods League for seizing on any opportunity to protect lands and the Lost Coast that are vital to its conservation, said Michael Evanson, the vice president of the Lost Coast League, which advocates for protecting water and wildlife in the area. But PG&E getting a green merit badge after all the destruction they're doing is not palatable. Right, because at the end of the day, they just get to go on probation and maybe even getting a thumbs up, a PR thumbs up on their way out too. That's right, with that asterisk, Skidded Deer neglected its infrastructure while having record profits. Correct. Hawk Rosales, former executive director of the council, said the new property adds a significant holding to the 4,000 acres the group protects for cultural and ecological purposes. So they're up to 4,000 acres. This just added 500. That's awesome. More importantly, it recognizes the tribal group's importance for caring for the lands. For so many decades, tribal voices have been marginalized in the mainstream conservation movement. It's only until very recently that they have been invited to participate meaningfully and to take a leadership role. Potter said that the League was trying to remove barriers and increase the scale of land managed by tribal communities and return to indigenous knowledge and practices such as setting small controlled fires to clear out undergrowth that led to healthier forests. These communities have been stewarding these lands for thousands of years, and it was the exclusion of this stewardship in many ways that got us into the mess that we're in. True. Either way, this is very good news. This is very good news. Hey James Napper, will there be power lines going through those areas though? I have no idea. Good question. This article in specific doesn't specify. Most of the Lost Coast is off the grid. Gotcha. Okay, there you go. Nonetheless, this is a good W, and we gotta count them when they come. I believe Astro mentioned of this earlier. Trump calls for the biggest protest we've ever had in DC and other cities if prosecutors investigating him do anything illegal. Okay, but what if you're the one that's doing stuff that's illegal? What about that? Don't worry, we'll get to this rally in just a second. Speaking at a Texas rally, the former president called for a nationwide protest if prosecutors investigating him and his businesses do anything illegal. Well, if they do anything illegal, there's recourse that one could take for prosecutorial overreach. So just do that. In his speech, he appeared to link the investigation to his baseless claim that the 2020 election was rigged, which led to the January 6th Capitol riot. These radical, vicious, and racist prosecutors do anything wrong or illegal. I hope we are going to have in this country the biggest protest we've ever had in Washington, D.C., in New York, Atlanta, elsewhere, because our country and our elections are corrupt. Yikes. He continues to push this narrative that and continues to rev up his crowd. By basically driving them to the conclusion that there's just nothing else you can do except violence, right? Because like, what else are you, especially if you've bought into this if you've already bought the Kool-Aid, if you've already drank the Kool-Aid, sorry, and you're being told that your elections, the people around you, your own party, the Republican Party, isn't useful. The elections aren't useful. The judiciary, who has adjudicated all of these nonsense, baseless claims, you can't trust them. The only person that you can trust is Natty Donnie. I mean, Jesus Christ. Hey, Alio, how's it going? That's right, if you did nothing wrong, you have nothing to hide. And if there's any type of prosecutorial overreach, then challenge it in court. He's never going to stop or give that up. Yeah, apparently. Apparently so.
If these radical, vicious, racist prosecutors do anything wrong or illegal, I hope we are going to have in this country the biggest protest we have ever had in Washington, D.C., in New York, in Atlanta, and elsewhere, because our country and our elections are corrupt.
Wrong.
They're corrupt.
This is just beyond. This is just beyond. My God, these ads are so loud. It's like reverberating in my ears. Cowboy hat. Where's the good one? Where's the good one? Give me some good memes over here.
And starting a land war in Europe against Russia, right? Great, we'll take over the rest of... Thanks, Trump.
DMCA, no, 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 no. All right. So taking any bets that this guy is drunk, or I couldn't stop laughing at one point because it literally sounded like he was reading a children's book. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't exactly have the mentality above that. Why are we watching home horror movies? We've got to.
You guys ready to start this evening? Who here likes Trump? Who here likes God? Who here loves America?
Jesus.
Who here's pissed at what's going on in our country right now?
This is so dystopic. So dystopic.
It's almost hard to believe how fast you can screw something up when you put stupid, failed...
Oh. Yeah, trust me, I wouldn't want to play this rally either.
Thing is hard when your policy's in place, folks. It's not that hard. But everything is hard when you're Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
The office is putting on a pair of shoes.
Joe Biden. Do we have to like play that one?
All of you knew it. Joe Biden and the corrupt administration is everything they lied to you about for 5 years.
Joe
Everything
Biden.
They told you Trump and his family was. Turns out it was all Joe. Who'd have thought it? I mean,
Jimjar 156. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that.
Because, why not? Why not? But you know what's good, guys? We've now seen the incompetence. We all got a taste of what America could be 4 years of Trump. Now
we did, and we didn't like it. That's why you were voted out. Good
Now,
memes, though.
we've seen how quickly you can destroy that. And again, we like to blame Joe Biden because you watch him try to put together a sentence and you realize, like, this guy's got the nuclear codes? I get that, but it's not Joe Biden. It's the Democrat Party. Everything that's being put into place, it's their ideas. It's their values.
Okay. Do you think they arrange the seating? Oh yeah, 100%. They make sure that all the... Remember, they hate the media so much, but at the same time want to be broadcasted out to the nation. What's your midterm election prediction? It's gonna be a bloodbath. The Democratic Party is going to get squashed. Apathetic Castronaut 13. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
It's their insanity. It's not Joe Biden. He's just the guy they used to lie to you. He's the guy they said, no. He's an elder statesman. He's gonna fix everything.
I don't think anybody... Well, I'm sure some people feel that way, but I don't think so. Like, Joe Biden isn't going to fix everything. He hasn't done anything.
So- Thank you, Uncle Sam. I appreciate that. That's good. I like that. The only thing Joe Biden hixed was the election. You can't make it up, right? He was going to come in. He was going to take care of the Rona. How's that working out?
Sorry about that. Thank you, Ert. So you like to be conned, lied to. You also like the fact that he's been drumming up violence. He's been stochastically drumming up violence. He doesn't like democracy. Huh. That's kind of weird, dude. That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. Why would you support anybody who speaks in that manner? Yeah, I was muted, I know. Dems are waking up, but they aren't on leftist side yet. I don't think so. I'm sorry, Alio. I don't think so. I disagree. I think the Democratic Party is lost. Trump has done more than Biden. I agree. He's done more damage than Biden. Yes, I agree. He's done infinitely more damage than Biden. Yes, you're right.
Folks, he was going to be an elder statesman. So rather than creating peace in the Middle East like Donald Trump, we're on the verge of World War III with Russia. How's that working out? Elder statesman, my ass. The only part of that that's accurate is elder. And I mean really, really elder. Okay? I mean, you can't make it up. And I think about it, right? I'm watching the news. The Russians are going to invade Ukraine. I go, that's funny. You know, the Russians took Crimea, part of Ukraine, under Obama. And then there was this strange 4-year pause.
Obama.
Right? There was a strange 4-year pause where Russia wasn't an aggressor. Right? Russia wasn't taking over their neighbors. And I wonder what was going on during those 4 years.
Yeah, the run is out of control because it wasn't taken care of to
So
begin
there was
with.
a
That's
4-year
true.
pause
That's true.
under Trump, because you know what a bully like Russia respects? Strength. They respect resolve. They don't respect someone who can't walk up the flight of stairs to Air Force One. Putin watches Joe Biden mumble through it and he says, oh, we're not just going to take over Ukraine, we'll take over the rest of Europe.
What?
Right? Look at China. Strangely, China.
China.
Where'd the virus come from, folks?
China. Trump cut taxes for the middle class, and his foreign affairs stances was wrong, actually. It was a lot stronger than Biden. I could go on and on. No, you can't go on and on because you have no other basis for argument other than these, like, made up, misplaced misplaced, fed to you by the media, perception of what actually went down during the Trump presidency. If that's what you're regurgitating. Because at the end of the day, first of all, the Trump tax cuts weren't for you, buddy. They weren't for you. And I'm not sure what foreign affairs stance means stronger. Was a lot stronger. I don't know what that means. Do you mean like when he almost started a war several times? Do you mean when drone strikes were increased under his presidency? I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? I think it's very complicated. There's a lot of legitimate opinion, legitimate critiques of the Democratic Party that you can make, but I don't believe those are solely responsible for political inaction. Sometimes it's difference of opinion. Sometimes it's systemic hurdles. Sometimes it's lack of votes. Sometimes it's how people view politics at a public level, or sometimes it's voter choices. Sometimes it's a bit of everything. Almost every media network now is on the left. Wrong. You see, like you're living this weird alternate reality. You're living this alternate reality where you think that the entire media apparatus has moved left, when in reality, the biggest media figures, period, in raw viewership channels, social media, they're all right wing. You're just wrong. You're just like living in some weird perceived reality that doesn't exist.
China is now flying bombers and fighters all over our allies in Taiwan, right? They weren't doing that like that under Trump, right? I wonder why.
Okay, this is just unwatchable. For some reason, it keeps like pausing. It keeps pausing.
America. Right? Just like when they told you it didn't come from the Wuhan lab, I'm saying, I have a feeling they're full of crap on this one too. It's a distraction to take away from what's going on in our backyards.
Maybe it's not loading.
You have an invasion at the southern border, millions of people coming across.
There's no invasion at the southern border. This is a lie.
Florida, thank God.
Let me let it load for a second. I don't know why it's not like working. The news media has all left. Yeah, apparently in a weird perceived it's a Trump-Biden rematch, Trump would win. I think so. I think people have to try and look at things in the way they can control, and things they can't. Ordinary people can at least change how they act, how they organize, and how they build bridges to other communities. An ordinary person, as one person, cannot change how the Senate works or how the DNC picks its candidates. But together, if they build that trust over time, they could. There's no shortcut. Yeah, you're right. I think that there's some truth to that. I think that maybe you yourself cannot change the world, or you yourself cannot fix any of our very real and very big problems, like income inequality, climate change, and all this other stuff. But if you build your bridges and you organize together, starting with your community, you can make a difference. In that sense, I agree. Yeah, that's why I was exactly spread it forward. That's why I was telling them. Chimjar believes in a con man who doesn't believe in democracy, who stokes stochastic terrorism, who continues to push the idea that our systems are rigged, our election is rigged, our country is rigged. He is dangerous, and the fact that you support him, maybe you should reconsider that, especially given the fact that, like, he doesn't actually care about this country at all. Someone who really cares about their country wouldn't go on and try to destroy it.
Got to make his own AR-15. So Dion, thank you for that. Is that like that the most Texas thing ever? You don't just shoot the effort, you have to build your own. But no, it's awesome to be here, guys, and this kind of support is why I know everything they've been telling us about for so long is such nonsense.
Again, that's a misconception, okay? I voted for Biden in 2020, Hillary in 2016, but didn't you just say I like Trump? Hold on. Let me go back because we have the receipts over here. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, sorry. Okay, so you probably will vote for Trump in 2024. I don't see why you would. But no, I don't think that Biden has done more to divide us than Trump has. Trump is literally telling you to do like insurrections. Trump is literally leading his base to do violence. So I don't know what's more divisive than that. It kind of sounds corny. I can be a Republican and vote for another party. Yeah, no one said you can't. It sounds kind of corny, but genuinely there's a lot that can come from basic community trust. True. It's not corny. It's actually how you build movements. It's how you build movements. Just being able to see eye to eye with someone, not agree completely, but respect that each other has good intentions. The countries with the healthiest democracies tends to be the one that trusting of at least each other, not seeing other citizens as enemies, in which is where the US is slipping into. I think you're referring to the polarization of this country, and I think that there is some truth to that. In order for you to have a healthy, functioning democracy, you need three things. You need strong institutions that do what they're supposed to be doing. You need inclusivity, which means people have to participate. Okay, people have to participate, and you have to have transparency, right? That's it. Those are the three tenets to make sure you have as much of a healthy democracy as possible, right? Zeonberry, how's it going? This is a boring talking point. This is whataboutism. If you want us to say like riot bad, okay. I'll eat that bullet. I'll bite that bullet. If you want to say riots are bad, I'll bite that bullet. But there's a whole other aspect to it when you have the President of the United States at the time telling people that their elections are rigged, that the judiciary is rigged because they keep losing cases after cases because there's no evidence to support the grand conspiracy that they believe in their deluded minds. That culminated into that insurrection. January 6th, a whole bunch of its stands literally did what Trump told them to do. Right. I'm not like verbatim, but you know, you drive people to do these things because you give them no other option, right? And it is now January 31st, January of 2022. And he still continues to push this narrative. Wrong. Wrong. What he said was the way that some of our laws are done. For example, gerrymandering is an example of how you can change or affect the outcome of elections. Yeah, that's true. I'm talking about a delusional conspiracy theory based on lies that just never happened. That's what I'm talking about. That's what Trump is pushing.
Okay? But again, it's always a distraction. Anything they can do to hide what's actually going on from the American people, they will do, right? I was reading and listening on the news the other day, the Russians they're gonna do a cyber attack on America this week, imminently, folks. I go, so they're amassing troops on the Ukrainian border and they're gonna provoke America, right? Just like when they told you it didn't come from the Wuhan lab, I'm saying, I have a feeling they're full of crap on this one too. It's a distraction to take away from what's going on in our backyards. You have an invasion at the southern border, millions of people coming across.
No
New
invasion.
York State's now letting illegal immigrants vote. You have cops.
Actually, I'm not aware of that. I have seen, you see like the constant lies. Do you not get tired of like being lied to at every point? Do you not get tired of being lied to at every point? I don't think that what he's saying there is true. That's right. I would say that the invasion of the southern border is a bullshit distraction. True. Yeah, I get tired of being lied to. That's why I'm voting Republican. But they're the ones that are lying to you, my friend. They're the ones that are lying to you. Do not, like, I've literally just showed you that he's lying to you in 4K. High HD 4K. And you're just like, meh. I guess I just like it. That's cool. That being said, that's not an excuse for Democrats' incompetence either, okay? That's not an excuse. Okay, so from what I see, that there are certain states that are allowing non-citizens to vote in local elections. In local elections, not federal elections, because you can't. You can't vote in federal elections if you're not a U.S. citizen. That should be pretty obvious to everybody, but he doesn't care. He just likes to feed everybody lies. I don't like picking sides, but I do think it's controversial to say that the Republican Party does seem to be... I don't think it's controversial to say that the Republican Party does seem to be behind majority of what I can call electoral malpractice in this country. That's a good way of putting it. That's a good way of putting it. Electoral malpractice. They engage with gerrymandering more, they oppose voter access more, and they prop up more myths. They oppose reforms, and that isn't a frame, that's just what the data shows. That's right. Here's lying. Bring back banned books. They sound like they're truth speakers. That's right.
Men and women of law enforcement being gunned down across the country with reckless abandon. They're releasing people with criminal records as though they don't do anything. Now the illegal aliens that are here can use their arrest warrants to travel.
Okay, he's about to do another lie. He's about to say, I don't know, this isn't working today, folks. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. He's about to do another lie in case you're interested, Chimechar. Another lie, just literally back to back, 4K, high definition, 60 frames per second lie. No. Illegal aliens cannot use their arrest warrants to just travel. It's when they're being deported. They need some type of identification to get on the plane. And if they're being deported, their arrest warrant seems to be a alternate way of proving that it's them. So yeah, of course they can use their arrest warrant. They're just trying to gin up fear and anger. This is what happens when they're being deported. Okay. Come on, C-SPAN. Wow, this is so bad. Alright, we'll do one more attempt to refresh, and then after that, I don't know. We'll try to figure it out after that. Sorry about that, folks. It's all fear-mongering and projection, right? Which apparently he's, our friend over here, Chimechar, is very fond of. I just don't get it. Like, why do you, like, why are you okay with this? That's, like, my big question.
They're gonna do a cyber attack on America this week, imminently, folks. I go, so they're amassing troops on the Ukrainian border, and they're gonna provoke America. right? Just like when they told you it didn't come from the Wuhan lab, I'm saying, now the illegal aliens that are here can use their arrest warrants to travel. Think about this for a second, folks. You don't deport them, you give them an arrest warrant, and that's their form of ID. You know what they don't need an ID for? To vote. You want to know why? We all know why, folks.
Why? Tell us.
We all know why.
Tell us. You see these vague generalities that he's like trying to gin up so that you can make the assumption yourself. You arrive at the conclusion that illegal immigrants are voting. That's the conclusion that he wants to tell. That's the conclusion he wants you to reach, without saying it. Which, of course, is absolutely not true. Another lie. Caught in 4K, 60 frames per second. I mean, we've done lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. I mean, I guess you like that.
But we're living in an America where our shelves at grocery stores are empty.
Damn, I thought that was communism.
Where the supply chain is delayed so long it takes you months to get anything. But don't worry, our Secretary of Transportation is on 2 months paternity leave, while 350 million Americans are waiting to get basic goods and necessities. Now, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it turns out that you absolutely need paid paternity leave. That should be standard across this country. Why aren't you supporting that?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a pretty progressive guy.
No, you're not.
Just kidding. They're like, what's going on here? I don't understand. If you're a male kindergarten teacher and you want to take paternity leave, I think it's wonderful. I couldn't care less. If you're the Secretary of Transportation, you get your ass to work.
He would probably say, he would probably say the same thing to teachers, too. I don't get it. Got you with that zinger. I thought it was... Yeah, I know. It's a good meme. It's a good meme. I love to bring it up every time. I cannot take this Trump boo BS so early. Trust me. I'm not even fully awake yet, okay? I haven't even finished my coffee. That's all cold now. It's okay. Who's all watching C-SPAN, right? They're messing up my flow over here.
It's not that hard a concept. When millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people depend on you, you show up, right? It's different. But if you're a Democrat, you can't even fathom that concept. What do you mean? I don't understand. Who cares?
That's right, because Pete Buttigieg himself, by the way, he alone is the only person that can fix the global supply chain. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Pete Buttigieg, by himself, alone, is fully responsible for the global supply chain crisis. Not our just-in-time supply setup. Pete Buttigieg, by himself. That's who, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing. I thought it was Jared. Is Biden to blame for UK and Ireland supply chains too? Yeah. Global. You heard him here, folks. Live. 4K. 60 frames per second.
Doesn't matter. We'll have the media cover for us, and that's what's amazing, folks. When you look, CNN does suck. And by the way, you know how we know? Look at their ratings.
Yes,
again,
I determine what's true, but I determine what's fact and not fact by how much ratings it has. True.
No one's talking about a supply chain crisis. No one's talking about empty shelves. No one's talking about the highest inflation in 40 years, which is a tax.
That's not
on
true.
all of you hardworking Americans, right? They go and say, no, wages went up like a point or two. I go, yeah, that's great, but when inflation's at 7 points, like, you realize that's still a 5-point loss, right? Like, you understand this. They don't understand this. You're paying 50% more at the pump? Irrelevant. They will show you a graph that shows 3 days worth of gas price and say, look, peasants, it went down 2 cents. You better be grateful. Oh, no, you better be grateful. They don't open it up where you see, like, but wait a minute, it was down here. Joe Biden, 2 cents. They won't show you that. Remember 4th of July? You saved 16 cents on your 4th of July barbecue, you ingrates. I was like, but I started my car and I backed out of the driveway, and that 16-cent savings was used up in like 30 seconds of running
I'm
my
sorry,
car.
I'm being less smart the more I let this go on.
Seriously, like, you
The
should be
good
grateful.
news is
We're
that
doing
there's
so
only
much
5
wonderful
minutes
things.
left of this.
And that's the problem, folks. We are up not just against the stupid ideas of the Democrat Party, which have failed America. You see it. America doesn't lower its expectations. We have set the expectations of the entire world for hundreds of years now. But when you don't have a solution, that's what you do. You lower expectations. All they'd have to do is follow Trump's policies. He showed that it can be done. He showed that it could be done with unprecedented resistance, and he still did it. Joe Biden, you have a $1 trillion mainstream media complex working as his marketing department. You have big tech silencing each and one of you. You have social media, another $1 trillion
Nobody's
industry,
silencing
making sure
anybody
that
here.
you don't get heard. That people like me, while I may have a big soapbox, it's going to be minimized. We'll crush him if we don't like what he's saying.
Thank you for the follow, Silas the Creator.
Raise your
Appreciate
hand
that.
if you've been in Facebook jail.
There's plenty of lefty people that have been in Facebook jail too.
Well, we're working to fix that too, folks. But we need you guys to be in the game, okay? You have seen what you can have, and you have seen it ripped away from you in 12 months. You've witnessed it, guys, but it doesn't have to be that way. If you get engaged, if you get your friends out, if you talk with your neighbors and friends, the ones that may not be paying attention, guess what? They're paying attention. Because if the
This part is actually true.
son of a billionaire from New York City is pissed off when he's filling up his truck, I know the rest of America is too, folks. Right? It's not that hard. We need to be engaged. And again, America is watching. They've seen the failures. The people in the middle are saying, done. We really screwed up here. They're all saying, let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Nice. You hit all the... okay, I think we got bingo. That's funny watching this because I've seen quite a bit of data over on voter interpretation of the economy, and it just seems like this is manifesting in video form. Just a whole when the opposite party is in power, the economy is doing bad. But when my guys in... Yeah, it's the Schrodinger's economy. It's Schrodinger's economy. Like, for better or for worse, if you want to talk about like raw numbers about how the economy is actually moving and in the direction it's moving, if you just take like an overview, like a 30,000 foot overview of the economy, for the most part, it seems to be rebounding, rather than what he's trying to lie to you about. There's no logic to it. It's just blind partisanship. Yeah, that's right. It's Schrodinger's economy. I thought we were going to get some good memes, but not really.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Judge Mark Kehoe leads us in prayer.
What?
Well, they will do, right? And you have...
What? They didn't show the... Oh, stop it. Okay, here we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald J.
I wish the press just one time would turn those cameras around. They go back. Football fields back. Thank you. I wish they'd turn. Look at all the media. Look at all the fake news we have. Fake news.
Benjamin P. Dixon,
God,
rating
you're
with
gonna
a
turn
party
those
of
cameras back just one
64.
time. You know
Welcome,
they do that.
everybody. Good morning. Howdy, howdy, everybody. Good morning. Don't forget to follow, refresh, and follow. Yes. Hello, Raiders. How's it going? Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much to the Benjamin P. Dixon Show for the raid. Everybody, if you guys don't know or haven't seen us before, we are A Difficult Truth. We do news and politics Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and we do Saturday Catterdays, although I've got a kitty cat on my, sorry about that, kitty cat on my lap this time. Saturday Catterdays, noon Eastern time. One thing is guaranteed. Kitty Cat on stream every Saturday. You can kind of see her little tail. If you hit that follow button, folks, you get 5 free emotes, and one of those emotes are my cat's face, okay? So do it. Still pushing the biggest crowd ever? Yeah, yep. Ow, kitty. That's not very nice. We'll see how far we can get, alright? Because I'm honestly already triggered.
I don't want to show the kind of crowds we get. Because our country is angry and our country wants to be respected again. Hello, Texas. It's great to be back.
You know, if you didn't like the media so much, why do you keep making them broadcast your shitty speeches?
In this wonderful, beautiful state with thousands of proud American patriots who believe in family and freedom, God and country, and by the way, oil and guns.
None of which he believes in, except for maybe the oil and guns. Maybe he believes in that. He doesn't believe in this country. He doesn't believe in freedom. He doesn't believe in democracy. None of that. He doesn't care.
Unlike the Democrats, 9 months from now, the people of this state are going to send a thundering message to the radical left Democrats in Washington, D.C. You're going to tell them, don't mess with Texas because Texas is never, ever turning blue. That is, unless they rig the election like they've been doing in numerous other states. And Governor, the governor's here, your great governor's here. Don't let him do it, Governor. We had a great big victory in the state of Texas. Just
wrong. There's no such thing as the election being rigged unless you can prove it.
Because together, we have to save America. There's never been a time like this. There's never been a time.
Remember, the existential crisis is necessary and ticks off that nice little proto-fascist type of deal, right? The idea of might makes right. The idea that the nation is going through this consistent existential threat. The idea that only he himself or his orbiters can solve the problem. Yeah, all of these things.
What Joe Biden and the Pelosi Schumer Congress have done to our country in just 1 year is a travesty of the highest order. Inflation
He just says things. No,
gas prices are soaring.
he doesn't just say
Supply
things.
chains are crumbling. Can you believe what's happening? You can't get anything. The shelves are empty. I did a book. They can't publish it anymore. They can't get the paper, the glue, the ink. Go out and buy it. You'll like it.
Damn.
Murders are surging. Illegal aliens are pouring in by the millions and millions. China.
I don't think that's true anymore, actually. I actually don't think that's true. I think that there was a, in terms of like immigration, I think there was like a big surge, like right after a lot of like restrictions and things like that were loosened. I think in 2021, but it's been pretty steady. I don't know what he's talking about.
Is threatening Taiwan. Iran is on the cusp of a nuclear bomb. Russia may take over Ukraine. Do you hear that crowd back there? Can you believe it?
My cat has decided to knead on me.
This is the biggest crowd of its kind in the history of Texas.
Alistair, thank you so much.
And the fake
Alistair Reno, thank you so much. Here we go. I hope I said it right.
The lines are going back 30 miles long. The cars are still coming. So I want to thank everybody, and it's incredible. And we're going to have a good time tonight, aren't we? Huh? So just where would you rather be on a Saturday night than a Trump rally in Texas?
No, thank you. Anywhere else, literally.
See, now Biden would say, where there, he'd say, where would you rather be on a Thursday night in the state of Oklahoma? Always America last, and that's what they do. You look at these horrible deals they make throughout the world. It's always America last.
Cool,
Everyone
so
in
America
Washington
first
is
kind of
obsessing
rhetoric.
over how to protect
Wait, what
Ukraine's
was that?
border,
I don't know.
But the most important border in the world right now for us is not Ukraine's border, it's America's border, and we do nothing about it but let people come in and we have no idea who they are. The first duty
That's
of the
not true
American
either.
president is to defend the American border.
That's not true either. And second of all, like, they're not pouring in. Of course we know who these people are.
Before our leaders talk about invasions of other countries, they need to stop the invasion of this country.
There's no invasion going on here.
It's
We can
being
move on.
invaded by people that should not be allowed to do. You know, we have the safest border, the strongest border that we've ever had.
Right.
Just
This is
1 year ago.
Schrodinger's border, right? This is Schrodinger's border. right? Where the border wall was beautiful, amazing, and working under his presidency. But under Biden's presidency, apparently the border just disappeared. I don't know.
And before Joe Biden sends any troops to defend the border in Eastern Europe, he should be sending troops to defend our border right here in Texas.
I don't believe there's any troops being mobilized. Any American troops are being mobilized in Europe. I think that what happened was 8,000 plus troops were put on alert, not actually mobilized to my knowledge. That's right. No, there's an employee shortage, but no more workers, please. Yeah, we still haven't figured out how Mexico's paying for this wall.
When I left office, we handed so many incredible things to the new administration, but one of the best was that great secure border. And it wasn't even close. There's never been a border like that. You saw it. People tell me, they said it was like we were living in a different world. It was so nice. They had never seen it.
So all of a sudden it just disappeared. I don't get it. I thought it was safe. That's what he said. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's Schrodinger's border.
Stop not only the people coming in that we didn't want in most cases, or certainly in many cases, but the drugs now are surging. We had it down to the lowest level in decades. Attacks on our freedoms. And by the way, we have a couple of people here that are very brave. American News, do we like it? It's a very popular carrier of our voice, your voice, my voice, everybody's voices. And unexpectedly, last week, they announced that they're going to be shutting down. This is AT&T shutting down One American News.
Capitalism.
So what's happening is DirecTV, which is owned by Time Warner, is just, I mean, think of it. CNN. How bad, by the way? Tell me. How bad and how fake is CNN?
Capitalism.
So One American News, which is wonderful, they're going to shut it down. And if they shut down OAN, you should...
He's complaining that there's a monopoly on the news and media, which we know that, of course. We know that. We know that there's a monopoly. There's an undue monopoly on all the media that we consume, right? That's like on mainstream media. But that's not like... That's capitalism, dude. What are you talking about? I thought you liked the, businesses taking over, businesses doing good, businesses doing what they have to do to preserve their profit.
Boycott AT&T and DirecTV. You should.
Oh, cancel culture strikes again.
People love it. And it's got a big
Cancel culture strikes again.
audience. It's purely political. And if you look at the chairman of the board and if you look at the other people, you'll understand what's going on. And while you're at it, boycott Comcast and Xfinity while you're at it.
Wow, he canceled Comcast too.
Comcast,
Damn.
it's a con job. Because they're no good. They're just no good. And they're so bad for our country.
I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to disagree. Comcast, AT&T, all these monopolies are so bad for this country. So maybe we should do something about that.
The millions of dollars the Bidens took from China also explains why Joe has refused to hold the Communist Party accountable for unleashing...
That's very, 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 very big claim there, buddy. Do you have something to, like, back that up? He doesn't.
...the virus on us and the rest of the world. Biden's letting China be rewarded, even while he's punishing our own citizens with brutal mandates and attacks on our freedoms. And by the way,
what attacks?
We have a couple of people here that are very brave.
Wait, what brutal mandates? Wasn't it just struck down by the Supreme Court? Wait, what freedoms?
The Herrings. Mr. Herring, I heard he was here. I just heard that. Robert Herring, Charles Herring, where are you? Charles Herring. They are the ones, and they're American patriots. They own, where are you? I want to thank you on behalf of, I'd say, 97% of the people here. They own OAN, One American News, and they have done such a job at great personal... Done a fantastic job, and let's see what happens. Remember, DirecTV, boycott it if they terminate this incredible group of people, because they really get the word
Remember,
out.
folks, cancel culture is bad, and cancel culture is bad, but also make sure you cancel things that I don't like.
Truth out, and you can't be terminating. They have enough problems with this country without terminating the truth. It's time for the American people to declare independence from every last COVID mandate. We have to tell this band of hypocrites.
What COVID mandates? They're done. There's no lockdowns. Okay. Stop it. Come on, kitty.
tyrants and racists that we're done with having them
What?
control our lives, mess with our children, and close our businesses. We're moving on from COVID. Whether they like it or not, we're moving on.
All right.
We did a great job.
Pandemic's
Operation
over,
Warp
folks.
Speed has been praised by everybody, but it's now time to move on. Remember, there are far more of us than there are of them.
Is that like a thinly veiled threat? Jesus Christ.
That's true. The Canadian truckers, you've been reading about it, who are resisting bravely these lawless mandates, are doing more to defend American freedom than our own leaders by far, and we want
Okay, did anybody hear that? So, the Canadian truckers who are in, and this is true, Canada, are fighting for American freedoms. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense.
those great Canadian truckers to know that we are with them all the way. They are. They've really shown something. It's time to move on. And wrongfully terminated by Joe Biden and his ridiculous COVID mandate, and force the Pentagon to give these patriots an apology and full back pay.
Yeah, you gotta
We're
cancel
thrilled to be
Mexico
joined
after they pay
tonight
for
by
the
many
wall.
great Republican leaders, and I want to introduce some of them. The place is loaded. We are loaded. 85,000 people. They want to be here. They're politicians, right? And who can blame them? But they're great people. And a man that I endorsed a long time ago, very early, he got me to spend so much money on Texas. But he's a great governor. He loves the state. Has my complete and total endorsement. Greg Abbott, Governor Greg Abbott. Where's Greg? A man. Where's Greg? Thank you, Greg. Thank you. Thank you, Governor. Looking good, Governor. A man who has been with me from the beginning. This guy is great, and he's a wonderful person. And his son has
I'm getting bored.
Had a lot of great people here tonight. Thanks, Dan. He calls me, sir, I think this one is great. Could you give them an endorsement? I said,
Wait,
absolutely.
I thought
Whatever
the
you
fake
want, man.
news
He's got
media
a hell of a
doesn't
lot
show
of
the crowd.
endorsements, but you've done a
Wait.
great job, and they've been great people you recommend.
Wait, I
will
thought
say.
the the
An
fake
attorney
news media
general who
doesn't
has
show the
really
crowd.
led the way, somebody who has been brave and strong. Ken Paxton. Ken, brave and strong and popular. Thank you very much, Ken. They all have my complete and total endorsement, and so do many of the others. Monday is the last day to register to vote in the primary on March 1st. Of energy and an incredible governor, Mr. and Governor and
Sir.
Secretary Rick Perry. Where's Rick? Rick? Thank you, Rick. Thank you, man. Thank you, Rick. And we have a lot of congressmen, warriors with us.
Ghostly Dragon,
So
how's it going?
Representatives, just great people. We'll start. Brian Babin. Where's Brian? Brian. Thank you, Brian. John Carter. Thank you, John. Thank you. Michael.
Ah, this is so boring.
Guy served a long time, has done a great job. Kevin Brady.
This
Thank
is
you,
so
Kevin.
frustrating and boring. Yeah, I don't
this
know
one
how
is
long
very
we can
special
go.
because he was my doctor.
I don't know
He
how
was
long we
everything.
can go through this.
I don't know if he was a better doctor, admiral, or congressman. I don't know. It could be congressman, actually. They love you. They
Abbott's one of
love
the very
Ronnie
worst.
Jackson,
This is coming
right?
from a Texan. I don't disagree.
You know, they were getting a little nasty. They didn't like that we were doing so well. So they said, maybe this guy's not with it. And I said, Ronnie, can I? I think
What?
he's the single greatest purchaser of advertising I've ever seen.
What?
I said, Mike, I don't care. Judge Mark Keogh. Judge,
I think he was talking about Mike Lindell.
they want to stand up, but the Houston police have been incredible. Everybody in Texas is incredible, but our heart breaks for those courageous officers that we've just lost. We send our prayers. We send our everlasting love to their families. We ask God.
I wonder if he feels the same way about the hundreds of police officers that suffered injuries at the January 6th insurrection. I wonder if he feels the same about police officers who were at the Capitol. Some of which ended up, unfortunately roadbloxing themselves. I wonder if he feels the same way about those police officers, or does he only feel that way about police officers that like him?
To help our wounded heroes make a swift and full recovery. Together we will always back our great men and women in blue, won't we, huh? Always.
Except on January 6th, when it's inconvenience.
Over the past 12 months, we have seen the starkest contrast between two successive presidents in the history of our country. Let's simply compare the records. In 1 year, Joe Biden's socialist spending binge sparked the worst inflation in 40
Socialist
years.
spending. Hey
and soon
guys,
to
we
be
did it. Whoa, this is breaking news to me. What? Breaking news, folks. We did it. We achieved socialism.
Probably 92 years from what they're predicting. The grocery stores are running out of food. The Congressional Budget Office slashed its long-term growth forecast way
No one
back,
knows, Dustin.
30%, and it's going to be much higher than that. More Americans died of COVID on Biden's watch than in all of 2020.
Oh wait,
At
now
least
COVID is
16
real? Wait. Now COVID does matter. I thought they didn't. I thought it's back to work, everybody. I thought the pandemic is over. Back to work. But now he's trying to make the good old bait and switch. It's Schrodinger's pandemic, right? Thank God, this guy's a living meme. Schrodinger's pandemic. It only matters when the other person's in president. When I'm in president, when I'm in the office, then it's just it's not a big deal.
Democrat-run cities saw record high numbers of murders and drug abuse and every other form of crime. Suburbs are seeing surging carjackings and smash and grab. We never heard of that term before. They just run into department stores and smash the hell out of it and grab it, and
What?
they just get out.
He's never heard of that term before? What? Jesus. Hey, Lawsuit, how's it going? Yeah, it's pick and choose whether the pandemic is over. It's Schrodinger's pandemic. So when a Democrat is in office, then the pandemic is terrible. They're not doing good. Look at all the deaths. Look at all the cases. But when I'm in office, then it's fine. We don't have to look at the cases. In fact, it's just a cold. In fact, it's whatever other excuse that they want. Yeah, that's right. Don't look up. It's Schrodinger's pandemic. That being said, that does not justify or does not excuse some of the actions or inactions the Biden administration has done. I'm just saying that it's really rich coming from this guy.
For nothing. There's no recrimination. Biden has abolished the southern border, canceled the Keystone XL pipeline.
What? Hey guys, the southern border has been abolished. Holy yikes, this is breaking news. I wish I knew that. Wow. Wow. The southern border's just been abolished. I didn't know that.
Re-entered the unfair and unfairly very expensive, horrible Paris Climate Accord ripoff. It's a ripoff of our country.
Wrong.
Caused gas prices to skyrocket by more than 100%.
I don't think it was because of the Paris Climate Accord, so this is just another law. Another lie. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Another lie. I mean, like... Okay. I mean, what else is there to say? Just lies after lies after lies after lies. And apparently people like Chimchar are just completely okay with it. They just kind of overlook it. They just overlook it. Amazing. I know. It was news to me today at 10:50 a.m. Eastern Time that the southern border has been abolished. It's just gone. I didn't know that.
A year and then begged OPEC for mercy. Please send us more energy. He's emboldened Iran, betrayed Israel, and presided over the catastrophe in Afghanistan. By contrast,
What?
and that's just a few. I didn't want to bore you with going on. I could go on for 10 more minutes. By contrast, we had perhaps the most successful 4 years of any president in American history.
That's actually not true.
Before the pandemic, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We created over 7 million new jobs and achieved the lowest unemployment rates for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans ever recorded. And you could add women, you could add high school diplomas, non-high school diplomas, diplomas from MIT, Harvard, Yale, the Wharton
Does
School
that
of
mean they
Finance.
finally recognize indigenous people as not illegal immigrants? Well, I don't know if you saw this. Well, you're probably way more aware than I am, Lawsuit. But earlier today we went over 500 acres that were returned back to indigenous people. And just to piggyback off that story, off that comment, I'm sorry, we were talking with Universal Discourse. I think this was it's been a while. I haven't talked with Universal Discourse in quite some time. But she was telling me a story about an indigenous person getting deported to Mexico. Think about that. And it's not the first story that's happened this way. It's not the first, nor the last. It's just an example where an indigenous person was arrested and deported to Mexico, to a country they'd never seen. They don't, they're not from there. Yeah. Oh, and I should add the asterisk that this happened under the Trump administration.
You could add them all. Everybody was doing better than ever before. We lifted 7 million people off food stamps and 10 million people off welfare. We accomplished the largest poverty reduction in more than 50 years in the United States and the lowest African American and Hispanic American poverty rates also in recorded history. After the pandemic hit and that horrible, horrible plague came in from China, we saved the U.S. economy and launched the fastest recovery on record. There's never seen anything like it. We handed over something.
I'm going to have to fact check those numbers because I don't trust a single thing he says.
That was incredible. We withdrew from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, replaced NAFTA with the USMCA, with Texas being one of the biggest beneficiaries.
Which USMCA basically is just NAFTA 2.0, just rewritten. The core centerpiece of the NAFTA is pretty much intact.
It's such a good deal that Mexico and Canada, you saw that Mexico and Canada want to get out of it. They'd like to get out of it, no thanks. Because for years, they ripped us off with NAFTA. Now we have the USMCA. And stood up to China like never before. We stood up to China, charging them hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes.
In tariffs, he's going to try to make the argument that his tariffs did damage to China, but in reality, it's quite the opposite. That's not how tariffs work. He has no idea how tariffs work, nor does he care, nor does his audience, to be quite frank. Yeah, no, this is a true story, chat, unfortunately.
And in tariffs, that's never happened before to China, and they want to now ease it up on China. Can you believe it? We unleashed American energy, and with the help of the proud Texas energy workers, we achieved American energy independence for the first time.
That's not
we ended
quite.
Catch and release, built almost 500 miles of border wall.
Whoa, okay, that's not quite true at all. We don't have energy independence. The reality is, if you want to achieve energy independence, you would be moving towards a more sustainable, renewable energy system, which he did not. That's right, Lasu. I had a question on my GD about his tariffs. Really? About his particular tariffs? That's
and would have
weird.
had it all complete in 3 weeks, except they decided to stop building and reached, you take a look, reached numbers like you've never seen before on illegal border crossings. They were down by 91%. And would have gone even lower than that. We would have had it almost completely stopped. People can come into our country, but they have to love our country, and they have to come in legally. It's very simple. We slashed violent crime for 3 straight years and deployed federal law enforcement to Democrat-run cities to put dangerous offenders behind bars. And we would have gone all the way, but we wanted to let them
classic
see if they can handle
Democrat-run
it first,
cities.
but they turned out that they can't. They cannot handle it. Democrat-run cities are a disaster in the United States. We appointed almost 300 judges to interpret the laws of the Constitution as written, including 3 Supreme
that part
Court
is
justices.
true.
We fully rebuilt the United States military and created the first new branch
No.
of the U.S. Armed Forces in more than 75 years. Space Force, there they are.
That's
There they
true,
are.
but okay.
This is something that people can't even believe because you've heard this for years. They couldn't do anything. We crushed the ISIS territorial caliphate. 100%.
That's not quite true.
We knocked out 100%. Remember I had it at 95%. I said,
No,
let's
that's
go
not
home.
true.
They all said, he didn't do 100.
That's not true. Literally, there's one. I just saw an article where there was a woman from Kansas, I think. She was from here, from Kansas. She was just recently arrested for leading an all-female battalion in Syria for ISIS. So no, they're not 100% gone. No, that's just a blatant lie. I'm just saying there might be some people we might want to put them on the yeah. Just saying. Wait, Space Force is real? Yes, unfortunately.
So we stayed a little longer. We did 100. They couldn't do it. Nobody. Bush didn't do it. Obama didn't do it. Barack Hussein Obama. How's he doing?
Obama.
How's he doing? How is he doing? We withdrew from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal, a disaster. Now they want to go back into it. It's a path for them to have nuclear weapons. It's horrible. Recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Struck historic peace deals in the Middle East, the Abraham Accords, and brought back our troops. We brought them back home where they should be. And yet another...
Wait. If he brought back all the troops... Wait. If he brought back all the troops, then how come it was Biden's disastrous retreat in Afghanistan? So he didn't, right? It's like, this is just another lie. This is just another lie.
Biden disaster this week, it was reported that the administration is planning to swamp our communities with even more unvetted, unscreenable refugees from Afghanistan. Thank you.
We're not sure about that. I don't trust anything he says.
They'll be in a house near you. You won't even know it. Since Biden's surrender, he has already brought in thousands and thousands of totally unvetted Afghan nationals, only a tiny percentage of whom ever helped the United States. 3% deserve to be here. They came out on the planes, and there's never been a site where 22 people fell off the sides of those planes when they were 2,000 feet in the air. Can you believe that? What was worse than that? Just last week in Virginia, one of these unscreened refugees was convicted of molesting a 3-year-old child. Under my administration, we instituted historic reforms, cutting refugee admissions by 85% and insisting that no refugee resettlement could take place without the consent of cities and states. With a Republican Congress, we must pass, and we will pass, that critical national security protection into law. It will be done, and done very quickly. But in order to truly reclaim our country, we must solve one of the most important issues of all, ensuring free, fair, and honest elections.
Here we go.
The 2020 election was rigged.
It wasn't.
And everyone knows it.
Remember, this is the same guy that Time Trial wants to vote for. Why is this guy still in the news? Because he keeps showing up, unfortunately. He keeps showing up, and I think he's going to run. And, I think he's going to run. If Trump is so great, why doesn't he have zillions and billions of credit and no court cases at all? Because it's all a lie. He's one big con man.
You know who knows it more than anyone else? The Democrats. Just yesterday, we had a giant victory in the great state of Pennsylvania. A statewide court ruled that the practice of no-excuse mail-in ballots put in place by Democrats right before the stolen election is illegal and flagrantly unconstitutional. And therefore, I assume we won
his
the
statement?
State.
Yeah, his
statement.
Wait, which statement?
In Wisconsin, and they're really going strong on the fraud.
Wait, which statement? Like the one after January 6th, or which statement? Remember, this is the same guy who planned January 6th and then hid what was going on. Yeah, coward. He lost 50 plus election cases. The best lawyers, true. I think it's past 60, the final count. Oh, he put one out? Can you send that to me? A new one? What? Can you send that to me? Because, like, I'm tired of listening to him, honestly. Send it to me in whispers. What? It's on Twitter. Why would it be on Twitter? Anyways, I can't deal with this blathering idiot. That's enough. That's enough of that. Tennessee school plans to ban Holocaust graphic novel Maus. Remember how cancel culture was such a big problem? Yeah. The Tennessee School Board has voted to remove the Pulitzer Prize winning graphic novel Maus from an 8th grade language arts curriculum due to concerns about profanity and an image of female nudity in its depiction of Polish Jews who survived the Holocaust. January 10 vote by McKinn County School Board, which only began attracting attention on Wednesday, comes amid as battles of the school system around the country as conservatives target curriculums over teaching about history of slavery and racism in America. I'm kind of baffled by this. Art Spielman, the author of Maus, told CNBC in an interview about the unanimous vote by the board to bar the book, which is about his parents, from continuing to be used in the curriculum. Like, this is deeply disturbing because, like I said, these people always, when they talk about the censorious stuff that's happening, it's all projection because it's them who wants to do this, right? There's been numerous books that have been banned under Christian groups that have mobilized to make sure that certain books aren't taught. Spielman also said he suspected that its members were motivated less by mild curses and more by the subject of his book, which told the story about his Jewish parents in the time in Nazi concentration camps, the mass murder of other Jews by Nazis, and his mother's suicide when he was just 20. Yeah. Dangerous territory, folks. Dangerous territory. Statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the U.S. If the Vice President Mike Pence had absolutely no right to change the presidential election results in the Senate despite fraud and many other irregularities which have been unproven, unfounded, it just didn't happen. How come the Democrats and rhino Republicans like wacky Susan Collins are desperately trying to pass legislation that will not allow the Vice President to change the results of the election? Wait, he was never allowed to in the first place. Wait, you realize that, right? Just for everybody out there, you realize that he doesn't have the power to change it. Okay, anyways. Actually, what they're saying is that Mike Pence did have the right to change the outcome, and now they want to take that right away. No, that's not a thing. Unfortunately, he didn't exercise that power, and he could have overturned the election. So again, living off this delusional fantasy that somehow, through some dubious misunderstanding of how the process actually works, he thinks that Mike Pence could have overturned the election, which is just not true. Mike Pence has stated multiple times that he does not have the power. The Vice President does not have the power to do this. Jesus Christ. He is a wannabe dictator. He is narcissistic. He ticks all the boxes of authoritarianism. Yeah. Screw this guy, honestly. Neil Gaiman, author of the Sandman comic book series and other award-winning books, blasted the school board's action, writing on Twitter that there's only one kind of people who would vote to ban mouse and whatever they're calling themselves these days. Yep. Good point. And if they had such a... He's a big old oopsie daisies are both embarrassing and infuriating. Yep, that's right. So he is a dictator? You mean like he's trying to force people to get vaccinated? Explain to me who's trying to force people to get vaccinated? Explain to me. Yeah, he is a dictator, by the way. He continues to rock the institution of our elections. He continues to say that the elections were rigged without a sheer zero evidence of it. So yeah, he's a dictator. Yeah. To the contrary, we've asked our administrators to find other works that accomplish the same educational goals in a more age-appropriate fashion. The atrocities of the Holocaust were beyond shameful and beyond description, and we all have obligation to ensure that the younger generations learn of its horrors. Yeah, so if this was such a big issue, why, if this was such a big issue, then why is it now, all of a sudden, when it has to be removed, since it's been here for years? Biden is more of a dictator than Trump. Trump isn't even president. You're just wrong. I asked if you saw Beto's tweet. No, I apologize. Spread it forward. Posted in chat. You're just wrong. You're just wrong. You're just literally wrong. Never ending the 1,000 people willing to testify that the witness voter fraud. You're just wrong. Oh, really? Oh, those people exist? Where are they? Where are they? Where are the 50 plus cases, 60 plus cases in the judiciary that were never that they never showed up to? Where are you getting this information? Where's your source? These thousands, over 1,000 people willing to testify. Where are they? Who are they? Can you show me proof of that? Or are you just living in a deluded world of your own making? Well, not of your own making, that you bought into full by Trump. Yeah, get them to testify. Where are they? Why are they so afraid to testify? This is such an illogical way of thinking. Come on, man. Like, let's get back to reality. It just doesn't make any sense. Send it to me, spread it forward. Biden is now more of a dictator, and let's also be real. If there was 1,000 people willing to come forward, they would have. Yeah. This is just like, never mind, they're being ignored. Oh, that's right. That's right. So we're just not going to provide any sources. We're just making assumptions. Do you see how you sound? Just unwilling to break the deluded reality that you live in. Abbott is a corrupt socialist. He encourages corporate buddies to make obscene profits during the grid failure and forces us to pay for their windfall and higher utility bills. He privatized the gains to a few and socialized the losses to every single ratepayer in Texas. Is he trying to make the meme? Is he trying to do the meme? Sam the Snowflake, yeah. Dictators wouldn't force vaccine laws on states. Can you provide me the exact statute that you're talking about? I would like to see it. Provide me the exact statute and law that forces vaccine laws on states. Can you provide that exact statute, the federal statute, and when it was signed into law? Or are you just making stuff up because you live in this deluded reality where you just believe whatever is in front of you that's put forth by people like Trump? Do you see how you sound? You don't sound very reasonable. You don't sound very logical. Because I've asked you for who the 1,000 people are who are willing to testify, and nothing there. I've asked you who the which exact law are you speaking about that forces vaccine laws on states? I'm trying to wrap my head around that because it just doesn't exist. You're living in an alternate reality. Beto thinking capitalism is socialism. Yeah, he's trying to do the meme, right? It's like this misconception of how companies privatize the privatize the costs and socialize the gains or something like that. He's trying to he has all of these things. He has capitalism, socialism, and that one meme all conflated in together, and he tried to make a tweet and it just fell flat on its face. Beto O'Rourke has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. This is just nonsense. Beto O'Rourke has no idea what he's talking about. I don't think he understands what any of these words mean. The TDS in here is kind of funny. Couldn't help but to say that. Oh, so you're still not providing evidence as to which law you're talking about. And where are these 1,000 people? Are you okay, buddy? Snap out of it. Snap out of it. Drop the Kool-Aid. It's okay. At any point today. Neither does Sam. No, I have no idea what they're talking about. Yeah, they don't. They just regurgitate whatever talking points that they have. The same, like, short NPC dialogue tree that if you run through, it always ends up with Trump derangement syndrome. That's usually the excuse or the end of the dialogue tree. The end of the NPC dialogue tree is just, well, you guys just had Trump derangement syndrome. Okay. Let me know when you have something else. Otherwise, why should we even listen to you? Why should these crazy lefties listen to you? So just to be clear, the reason why I'm telling you all these things is that so you can kind of like go back and rethink about the stuff that you're saying and then find out if what you're saying is actually, if there's actually any truth to it whatsoever. Were you able to find a legitimate source for the 1,000 witnesses allegedly who are willing to testify across the board? Furthermore, will those 1,000 witnesses be able to confirm a massive conspiracy across all 50 states that would overturn the electoral results? Number 3, you mentioned a a federal law that forced the states to have vaccine laws, which I have no idea what that means. Can you, or did you actually go back and find out which law that was, who proposed it, which senators and which representatives voted for it? Who brought this up in the chambers? Which law? Which statute? Come on, guys. Let the board guy find the next list on the talking point list. Yeah, that's right. The next list on the talking points. Yep. Anyways, back to Beto O'Rourke, who has no idea what he's talking about. Abbott is a corrupt socialist. Okay. That's not what that word means. He encouraged his corporate buddies to make obscene profits during the grid failure and forced us to pay for the windfall of higher utility bills. Oh my god, I think he's trying to use that, socialize the gains, privatize the means or something like that, but this is not what any of these, this is all backwards. He's got it all confused. Someone should take his Twitter account away. Someone should take Beto O'Rourke's Twitter account away until he learns the definition of socialism, capitalism, and watches that clip in context. Then he can tweet again. How about that? How about Beto O'Rourke should not tweet unless he knows what the definitions of capitalism is, or socialism, to be fair. It seems to me like he's just regurgitating stuff because he wants to look cool. Didn't you say you were going to do something at the end of your stream? Yes, we were going to get to that right now. No, you're right, Thundera. You are correct. You are correct. Anyways, Beto O'Rourke, cringe. Omega cringe, Beto O'Rourke. Yeah, that's not socialism, it's crony capitalism. It's crony corporatism, or just, capitalism. Time for my dentist appointment. Have a good one, everybody. You have a good one. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate that. I'll give it to Beto. He's using his uneducated base against themselves. That's true. That's true, because remember, to win an election against your opponent, you just have to say socialism. You just have to try to paint your opponent as socialist, and then you win. Good meme. Nice meme. I was going to go over this article about what these people define as freedom. Just really means, this article brings up a good point. What they define as freedom is just meaning freedom to do as you're told. Freedom to do, basically the freedom, when I talk about freedom, I just mean that I want to be the one telling you guys what to do. Here we have Ron DeSantis as the forefigure of that. He doesn't actually care about freedom. He wants cameras and microphones in students' classrooms. He doesn't care about freedom. He wants to make sure that abortion is illegal. He wants to make sure that what he means by freedom is what I want it to mean. Freedom to do what to do as you're told. Exactly. Moving some county powers centralized to him when it comes to elections. That should be pretty disturbing. An entire new election police force for a problem that just never happened in Florida. Remember, he talked about how Florida is such a free state, but if you're a business that wants to do X, Y, and Z when it comes to protecting your employees' health, oh, here comes the state telling you you can't. Here comes the state telling you you can't. They don't actually care about freedom. People like Ron DeSantis don't actually care about freedom. They just want to make sure they're the ones that are doing the authoritarianism. That's what they care about.
You know, there's actually bird detection radar, which is, and there's a couple different companies make it, and they can detect a flock of birds about 3 to 5 miles away. And the computer will automatically shut the turbine down if the flock is getting ready to fly into the turbine. So that can be deployed, and it has been deployed in offshore wind turbines already. They've also found that just simply painting one blade black.
I love that. It's the simplest thing, but it works well.
Folks, if you guys don't know who this is the Beckosphere. They do a fantastic job trying to kind of condense and concise any type of climate news, and they just kind of put it in a very easy bi-weekly format. Well, check this out, folks. This is the announcement that I wanted to go over. We're gonna watch this video tomorrow. Because this is a interview, which I thought was pretty interesting. I kind of perused it for a little bit, but the ending is what I want to go over.
And so keep it up. Really.
I talked about climate.
We have a lot of momentum right now, both at the federal and state level, but the political winds can change. And, you know, it typically, from start to finish, big projects like this, you're going to typically take almost 10 years. And so that's potentially a couple of different administrations. So I do worry about that. What's going to be the political landscape, you know, before this thing is complete?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's a very fair concern. I think about that a lot, and just having to do with the energy transition in general. We kind of need stable leadership that supports it.
To be quite honest, I'm still misusing the term.
There are some things that we really...
Yeah, but I mean, it's a genius tactic now that I think about it. Yeah, because exactly that's exactly what I was saying. Spread it forward by claiming that his opponent is socialist and trying to paint that kind of like image in people's head because they have absolutely no idea what that word means. Works.
We need to get going on, and
we're going to watch this interview tomorrow.
Increase the capacity and resiliency of our electrical grid.
True.
Yes.
By a factor of about 3. We need to crank it up by a factor of about 3 in terms of capacity, because we need to move to a future where we're moving to electric vehicles, and we're getting all the gasoline powered vehicles off the road. Industry is moving that way. I mean, all the major automakers have plans to go all electric, within 10 years or so.
That's right.
But that can't work unless we really build out the electrical grid. The electrical grid right now couldn't support that. We've got to at least double it. We really like to triple it. And then of course we got to build out all the electrical, charging infrastructure and all that. So we really need to get going on that now.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Okay.
I greatly appreciate it. And
thanks, Becky. I really enjoyed it, and I commend you for the work you're doing. I was very impressed when I looked at stuff on your channel, and so keep it up. Really good.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I hope you found this interesting. Thank you, Mike, again, for taking the time to talk with me. Please consider checking out Mike's YouTube channel, which is linked in the description box below. And if you feel so inclined, check out your local Citizens Climate Lobby chapter. Before we go, I also want to mention that I was recently on a talk led by someone else. I went on a Twitch stream called A Difficult Truth, where I talked about climate change and like different climate solutions and stuff like that. So if you're on Twitch and you enjoy news coverage, which I'm guessing you do because you watch my channel, check them out because they're really, they do a good job covering different political and environmental news. And they also have a YouTube channel where they basically repost their videos that they originally put on Twitch. So I'll leave a link to the video that I did with them in the description below. Until next time, remember to talk about the climate crisis every single day and to support your local news organizations. A big thank you to the people on Patreon.
Oh man, that made me feel good. That made me feel nice. That was pretty poggers. Also, what do we need to mine like so much copper and lithium, which leaves the earth ruined in a bad shape afterwards? Yes, but there are ways of making closed loop systems where we don't have to do that necessarily, and there's also new types of battery technology coming out that we won't even need that. There's ways of also making extracting lithium as well that don't involve mining and stuff like that to destroy the earth further. So yes, but the concern is correct. The concern is correct. Should we just do it, business as usual, in the old-fashioned way of mining lithium and stuff like that? Then yes, you would be correct. But there are better ways of doing it. There are ways of creating closed-loop systems, which would then make these impacts null, if that makes sense. I honestly just to bring it back down to earth, okay? Just to bring it back down to earth, I do really want to appreciate the Beckosphere for that. First of all, that little shout out. Second of all, for that talk and coming on to our show, and hopefully we'll be able to do another collaboration at some point. I really enjoyed that. Again, she does great work when it comes to condensing climate news and getting it out there. We need more people like that. We need more people to get out there and really spread the word far and wide when it comes to the climate crisis. So I do appreciate the stuff that she does, and I do think that she does good work. So that being said, please go check out their channel and subscribe. Consider supporting them. Consider subscribing, doing whatever it is that you can to support, as she says, support your local news organizations, and never stop talking about the climate crisis. Never waste an opportunity to talk about the climate crisis and talk about it every single day, because it is massively important. That being said, folks, I do want to thank everybody here. Thank you so much. Spread it forward. Thank you all. Thank you so much for the raid, the Benjamin P. Dixon Show. If you guys don't already follow them and don't already support them, please consider going to twitch.tv/Benjamin P. Dixon. Please go to twitch.tv/Alio. Lossu, twitch.tv/Lossu. Let me see here. Let me make sure I got everybody. Now that I have everybody here, make sure. And if you guys see a little diamond next to somebody, chances are that there's some type of content creator, whether it be streamer, YouTuber. Maybe they do things on the side. Consider supporting them. I like your channel. Been watching for only a week or so. I appreciate your level-headedness and calm demeanor. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. See you later. See you later. Thank you so much. All right, folks. We gotta head out. Unfortunately, I gotta get to work. I appreciate you guys hanging out here. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Thank you so much. And thank you to Bleep Blompen as well for that awesome, amazing raid on Saturday. Seriously. Her community is just so generous. I can't thank her enough. Thank you. Thank you, Benjamin P. Dixon Show. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya. Yeah, let's go to Comrade Bubbles, yeah? Hang tight, folks. Let's give him a good, nice welcome, okay? Nice ADT welcome. Lots of support. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. See ya.